Welcome back, everybody, to another edition of Dollar Bin Digging. This is the article and video series that I do for comicbookinvest.com, where I talk about those cheap books, those little hidden treasures you can still find out of those dollar boxes, those cheap boxes, those things you find at the LCS, at flea markets, wherever you find your cheap comic books. These are some ideas of things you might be able to still be able to dig out based on some of the recent news, rumors, and speculation out there in the market with the MCU DC extended universe and all the fun stuff coming our way, whether it be in movies, comics, and all of that. These are just some comics that kind of sprang to my mind that you might be able to dig out of those cheap boxes. Hopefully, you enjoy this as well as all the other stuff here on Rennavision. Let me know what you think in the comments. Please like, subscribe, hit the alert button so you don't miss anything. Make sure you check out the live shows on Sundays and on Wednesdays. Come join the chat, have some fun talking Star Wars, pop culture, comic books, and all things in between. And if you want to see what books I want to talk about for Dollar Bin Digging this week, just hang on for a few seconds after the intro, and I'll be right back with the books. All right, so as I've been doing the last few weeks, I'm going to be looking at some of the news items and announcements and things like that, some rumors, what have you, and look at some speculation we can look at with mostly Marvel and DC, maybe a little bit of indie stuff as well. Just we'll take it as it comes with a few of these stories with the rumors and first appearances and give you some books that you might be able to go digging out of those cheap boxes when you go hunting. So, with that being said, let's start with our first, which is a new announcement slash rumor of who we might see show up on the She-Hulk series on Disney Plus, and that's Howard the Duck. Yeah, I mean, this could happen in a number of different ways. These two have crossed paths a number of times before. I'm not 100% certain when they first crossed paths, but there are a few books you can probably still dig out of those cheap boxes where you see Howard and She-Hulk, run into each other in the comics, and just some fun stuff to go digging for. Now, could this be related to his marriage to Darcy in that What If series? Maybe she's helping him out of a legal bind or helping Darcy out of a legal bind, and we don't actually see Howard. Maybe he just gets referenced. Who knows what we might get? But the rumor is Howard the Duck in the She-Hulk series. So we'll see how that plays out. Now, the first crossover, well, I don't want to say the first crossover, but the first one I want to talk about here is Sensational She-Hulk number 14. Now, this is a pretty interesting book in and of itself, outside of the Howard the Duck crossover and appearance. And yes, they're in the Baloney verse, and it's kind of a crazy story. But also, what is a crazy story is about the cover for this book. Now, this cover was supposed to be done by Brian Boland, and somehow the art got lost along the way. So then Mark Teixeira had to come up with this cover here using that kind of sketch and planned out cover that Boland was going to do to give us this cover so Marvel could print the book. Then apparently they found the original art that Boland had done, and then Marvel decided to release just the cover for this book so you could wrap it around your issue, since that was the original plan, as well as I think it had some like preview or some notes about the next 15 or 16, the next upcoming issues. But they gave it away to comic shops as just a cover. And that thing is actually hard to find on its own. There's actually a graded copy on eBay right now. It's asking like $400, just that cover that I'm referencing. And so you can see what I'm talking about. That Boland art is pretty gorgeous. I do dig it. Not to say the other cover is bad, but there's just something about the original that just is a little bit above what we actually got on the book. But yes, if you can find just this cover, you found something that's not easy to dig out these days. Because again, it wasn't something that they really sold. It was just, I think, it was given away to comic shops. At least that's what I gathered, kind of remember from things that I've found and researched on this. But that all said, going back to just the regular, want to go out shopping for one or see what listings are on this, it's still right in that same range, $8 to like $12. I mean, pretty consistent for the most part, but you might be able to still find it for like $1 or so. And like I said, keep an eye out for that Boland, just the cover. I mean, if it's in a bag and a board, you'll feel it is very light, but just, I don't know, be mindful of it. Just know that thing exists, because who knows? You might be able to rip that out of a dollar box because somebody thought that it's a detached cover when really it isn't. It was a giveaway to kind of do as a wraparound for this issue. Just a fun little tidbit. On top of that, there is another time that I can think of that when they crossed over in the Dan Slott series, and this is just in that She-Hulk run, which is getting a little more pricey as the days go by because a lot of people have been buying this slot run. But issue 8, as you can see right there, you got Howard the Duck on the cover, and you got Matt Murdock behind. Who knows? We may see all three of these people on She-Hulk. Well, it's kind of fun little thing. But if you want to check this one out, you can go find this selling for around $7, like on eBay these days. I mean, both those sales were within the last week or so, the 13th and the 7th. And then what's available, it's like $5 to $7. It's not an expensive book. It's still pretty cheap. It's kind of a fun little story. So go and check it out just for that alone. Or if you just want to have a nice little crossover book between Howard and She-Hulk. Again, this is not like the first time they met or anything like that, but still pretty cool. Matt Murdock being involved on this cover too. I think that's kind of an extra little added bonus. But keep an eye out for the entire 12 issues of that slot run because they, like I said, they seem to be moving these last month or two as we get closer to that Disney Plus series. So just keep that in mind as well. Now, our next bit of news item, we're going to move away from Marvel for a second. I'm going to shift over to DC, and we got a little bit of footage, like kind of like put out there for the Black Adam movie, among others. But I'm focusing on Black Adam because I'm kind of curious. I like The Rock. I'm a fan. I want to see what we get out of this. The Doctor Fate stuff looks pretty cool. The Hawkman stuff looks pretty cool as well. But then let's not forget about Cyclone here. Now, we know her first appearances in Justice Society of America #1. That book's already gotten a little bit pricey. I mean, obviously, keep an eye out for it if you can go dig it out of a box. But another one that's kind of been up and down over the last couple of years now is a book I've talked about before for Dollar Bin Digging, and that is issue 3 of that series because it has just this gorgeous Alex Ross cover for Cyclone. So it's this beautiful cover for her. I mean, he did all these character kind of like portraits across the series with the black covers and a number of them are worth grabbing if you can find them, especially if you can find them in those cheap boxes. Like grab them for cheap. It's just gorgeous, gorgeous work. But this book, like I said, it's been up and down. This was like $25 at certain highs, and again, could be found in dollar bins forever. But these days, if you were to find one in a cheap box, it is still $1 to $10. Like February 15th, one sold at auction for 99 cents. So that's even $1 online. And then another one sold the next day on the 16th for $10. So I mean, it's still pretty low by all things considered. Because like I said, this was like a $20 book all day for a while, at least 15 to 20. So prices are down, a little soft, but who knows? It could bounce back up as we get closer to that movie and its release, especially the character takes off. But here, even if you go shopping right now, $4 to $15 seems to be the range, which is not inconsistent from what we've seen. Again, highs and lows, ebbs and flows. Just ride that wave and see what you can find when you go out there digging. I'm not telling anybody to go buy this for $15. I wouldn't even probably buy this for $10. But if you can find it for cheap, I don't know. I might grab it because, like I said, it is a nice cover. For that alone, it is a cool cover. And this is actually a really good read, too. This Jeff Johns run. If you can get a good chunk of it, I like the JSA run, the Justice Society of America run. It's a decent read, too. But while we're going to stick here with that and mentioning those black covers, the other one that seems to have been gaining steam lately, again, is the Black Adam one, which is on issue 23. Again, another gorgeous cover. So just something, if you're flipping through a box, you see that all black, just take a quick look at who it is. I don't know. I still recommend probably just grabbing all of them, even though some of them are very easy to find and heavily printed. Uh, this one seems to be gaining steam, like I said, this Black Adam cover. So keep an eye out for this one as well, because you could see $7 to $20 on this. So it gets some highs, a little bit of lows, but yeah, $7 to $20 is what it's selling for. And if you go shopping for one, 15 to 18 are a lot of the prices right now, kind of in that, $20 and under kind of range. So again, just another book. Who knows? Find it in a cheap box, grab it now before it gets even hotter. Like these black character portrait covers, like with the black, background and the Alex Ross art. It reminds me a little bit of like the Galaxy icon. So as characters might become more important, so like Atom Smasher kind of hits when that movie comes out, or Hawkman, like those particular covers may be ones that start to see some movement on the market. But I don't know. Keep an eye out for them. Keep an eye out for all of them, as I said. Moving on, let's go over to Netflix for a minute and Dark Horse. We're going to shift over to non-Marvel and DC just for a little sidetrack and check out Umbrella Academy because we will be getting a third season. And it looks like they're kind of going to be adapting Hotel Oblivion, and maybe we get introduced to those the Sparrow Academy. I know it's been mentioned before. I might even mention this on this uh video series before. I wasn't 100% certain, but with some more news and these character posters coming out spotlighting this some of these characters, it just kind of reminded me of these books. So keep an eye out for them because this Hotel Oblivion was it sold pretty well, but at the same time it didn't. So a lot of copies were ordered, and then a lot of them found their way into cheap boxes as overstock because I mean, it was coming out at the height of the show, and the show was like a big hit, so people just expected a lot to sell. But maybe many just didn't. I don't think. I just remember seeing these on those the shelf for a while, and then they get moved from the new release wall into those discount bins. So you start getting like half off a cover or 50% off cover, and then eventually into those dollar bins. So keep an eye out for that stuff because you can still find this run potentially for cheap. Here's the first issue. A couple of, I think every issue had an A and a B cover. So keep an eye out for both of those. The market on this thing right here, this is issue one that I'm showing you, but you can just see just randomly. There's, I think it's issue one and two down below, $1.36 at auction for two issues. $6. Somebody bought three. Looks like issues one, two, and three with A and then B covers. Like the A covers are mostly white, while the B covers most have this like kind of a beige, kind of a parchment kind of look to them. But again, still all very cheap, even online. And if you want to go shopping, again, you can see $4. And then there's a copy of issue 1A with the ash can, which is another little fun thing to keep an eye out for. And $18 for the pair isn't terrible, I guess. But again, just keep an eye out for the cheap box. I'm not saying again, pay the market prices, look for them for cheap. Maybe find a nice little treat, nice little treasure. But yes, that's the start of the run. Keep an eye out for all 7 issues of the run, but be particularly mindful of the last issue, issue 7, because that is technically, I guess, the first appearance of the Sparrow Academy, who is going to be featured, I think, on this third season. I don't know, just something to be aware of. Again, there's an A cover and there is a B cover. Again, as you see, it has more of that kind of a washed out parchmenty kind of look to it. But those are the A and Bs. Keep an eye out for both. How's this thing do on the market? Well, look, issues 6 and 7 together sold for $4 online. So even online, again, these are still cheap. So you can find them in the cheap boxes, but sometimes you can see that B cover for issue 7's about $10. And then issues 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. So only missing issue 3, 15.50. 15.50, and you get nearly the whole run missing one issue. Again, cheap. So keep an eye out for cheap because they may not stay cheap forever. But they might. Who knows? Who knows? But if you don't invest a lot, you don't have a lot to lose. So take a shot. Take a shot. Who knows? And if you go looking on online right now, go shopping. Again, $4 for A or B, and then sometimes there's some asking $20 because I guess that first appearance. That's what's out there. That's what's being asked for. Doesn't mean that's what you should pay. Again, this is stuff to go find in those cheap boxes. Final item. Got one more news story that kind of made me think about some books that I want to talk about. Might be a little short one this week, considering how we've been moving along through these books, but Sonic. Yeah, we haven't even gotten the second movie yet. Second movie comes out, I think, sort of April. My son's really looking forward to it. He's been playing Sonic like almost every day on his Switch and wanting to watch the first movie. So even before the sequel comes out, who is going to include Knuckles, Idris Elba playing Knuckles, and I think we're going to get Tails as well. These extra characters, they're already banking on this IP. Like we are going to be getting not only the second movie, the sequel, coming out in a month or so, but they're apparently announcing a third movie as well as a Knuckles live action series. So we're going to get more Idris Elba following this movie. I don't know. Could be cool. I kind of enjoyed the first movie. It's not terrible, but they are putting some money behind this project and these characters. So why not look at the comics? First Knuckles in comics is going to be expensive. It is not who knows. I wanted you to be aware of it in case you're flipping through a dollar box. Maybe you'll spot it and see it. I'm not saying you're going to find it because I think a lot of these have already gotten pulled out over the last like year or two, last couple of years because this thing has gotten expensive. So this Sonic the Hedgehog issue 13 of the Archie series is gotten pricey. But I just want to put it out there so you're aware of it. So you know what to look for. Who knows? Not every dollar box is the same. Not every cheap box is the same. But this is probably not going to get found easily for $1. But doesn't mean I can't mention it and can't make you aware of it. This book, as I said, has gotten expensive. It's been selling like 60 to 80 bucks. February 15th, both of those sales. So very recent. 60 to 80 bucks for this thing. So if you find one, you find a nice little treasure. Keep that in mind. This yellow cover inside. First Knuckles, I think in comic. I think he might have shown up in maybe a magazine or a promo giveaway. It's one of those weird. I don't want to get into arguments over what's the first full, all that nonsense. Multiple places kind of just look to this as the market deciding that this is the comic that they want for Knuckles. So be aware of it. That's all I'm saying. You make your own choices. But if you want to go shopping, you can again see 70 to 100 bucks. It's not cheap. So you won't find this cheap online at least, but be mindful when you're digging through a box because you might find it cheap in person somewhere at a yard sale in a stack. I mean, again, it's Archie. So keep that in mind as well when you go looking, because some shops, some places, they might keep Archie books separate from the Marvels and the DCs. So this could be buried in there with Archie books and some other, more kid type stuff. Maybe you can find some Animaniacs, some other good stuff. Don't completely disregard the kids' books. And also keep in mind that a lot of the kids' books get wrecked. So finding these in good condition is also a tough task a lot of the time. So with that said, that's the first appearance, but that's not really the one I think you'll have a good shot at finding. Because like I said, it's gotten expensive. What you might be able to find for Knuckles, at least, is his 3-issue mini that came out, I think, in 96. I think this 3-issue, also from Archie, Sonic's Friendly Nemesis Knuckles. Yeah, issue 1 of a 3-issue mini series. You might be able to find this or any of these issues. Keep an eye out for all 3. You might do well for yourself if you do. I know I found this. Found this series a couple times. I just grabbed it just completely randomly just to see what it was. I mean, you're only investing $1 or a buck or two. Not saying go out there and pay market. Find this stuff for cheap. But this Knuckles series, still, it might have some legs, especially if we're getting a Knuckles series of his own. Like, we're going to need content. It's not going to be just about Sonic. He's going to have a show. They're going to have to draw material from somewhere. Maybe they take it from this series. I don't know. I don't even know if it really matters. But still a fun thing to go hunt and still a fun thing to go dig for. So, as you can see, 20 bucks January 23rd for all 3 of this mini, or you can see $7 January 2nd for just issue 1. So, take it for what it is. It's not really a pricey book right now, so you might be able to find it still in those cheap boxes because not a lot of people are looking at it. Just saying. But online, you can see $18 for the 3 issues, 20 to 30, well, $20 starting bid, $30 buy it now for all 3 issues, or somebody looking for $17.50 just for issue 1. There's not a lot out there, so it may not be, you might not have a lot of options if you want to go buying online, but again, go dig in a box. You might find this stuff. And while we're at it, that's the 3-issue mini-series of introducing us to Knuckles, Sonic's friendly nemesis Knuckles. We shouldn't say introducing because he was in the regular series, but, giving him his own title. Giving Knuckles his own title. But he then got more of an ongoing. I think that ran for like 30 issues following this in 97. So keep an eye out for this issue 1 as well. So this is Knuckles. I think it starts with this Dark Legion imprint, I guess you want to say, or the little subtitle. But this came out in, I think, 97. It's just another book. It's another number 1. It's easily to be confused with the other number 1. If you just see Knuckles on the cover, you see number 1, and Archie, you think one might be the other. But just keep an eye out for both. Can't hurt. Can't hurt to grab this one as well if you find it in a cheap box. You can see here, this thing can sell for as cheap as $5 on January 7th, or on December 9th, $40. I don't know. I don't know why that one sold for 40, but be mindful of that. This thing can sell. At times, it can sell for cheap. It can sell for a lot. Just one of those things. And if you want to look at the market, hey, the market's telling that same story, because right now you could buy a copy for $10 or for 40. You make your choice. Again, I'm not saying buy at market. I'm just showing you that the market could be a little crazy. You ride the wave, ebbs and flows. So got to find this stuff for cheap, and you don't have to worry about that. If you want to sell it, you can sell it. If you want to keep it, you got yourself a deal. This is just some fun stuff for you to go looking for based on some of the news and announcements from this week. So I like to look at the first appearances and little books that we can go find for fun. There's something to go and hunt. And that's what I'm going to go digging again tomorrow, see what else I can find. Because this is the stuff I'm going to start looking for, and it's already stuff that I've been looking for. But just some fun ideas. Hopefully you enjoy that, as well as the rest of the stuff here on the channel. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for stopping by and checking in. Again, I appreciate the feedback. So let me know in the comments. Do all the likes, all the subscribes. Make sure you keep spreading the word and telling others to come check out the channel because we're nearing 1,400. And once we get to 1,500, I'll be doing another big giveaway with other fellas here on the channel. And yeah, we're doing some more fun content going on. Almost, well, it's not quite daily anymore because I'm just trying to slow down my pace. But there's always a bunch of stuff. Multiple times a week, there's content from live shows on Sundays and Wednesdays to more of the recorded stuff, generally on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursdays. And then sometimes I throw those little extras out there as well. A lot of different series that I like to run, a lot of different content that I like to provide you guys. Let me know what content you missed that I haven't done in a while that you want to see again, and I'll try to put it back into the lineup. And with all that said, again, thank you all. Appreciate you all. Hopefully you enjoyed this list and go check out the article over on comicbookinvest.com with all the other good stuff there. And I will see you guys soon with some more content.